Hi, I'm Sarah from The Upcoming. So lovely to speak with you. Um, Maybe we could just kick off with an introduction to Cryptozoo. How would you even go about trying to summarize what this is about? It's quite a trippy film, original trippy film.
Yeah, I would say it's about a zoo that rescues and houses mythological beings from all of these mythologies around the world. And the crypto zookeepers are kind of looking for a Baku, a legendary dream-eating hybrid creature. And as they're looking for the Baku, they start to question whether they should house these cryptids in the confines of a zoo or if they should remain free and unknown.
Mhm. And, you know, how would you sort of define your influences? What sparked the idea for the story? I guess both in terms of its substance, but also the incredible look of it, which seems, it's very unique. The style of the animation. So, what were the inspirations for both those things?
One of the key inspirations was an early unfinished film by Winsor McKay called The Centaurs. He's one of the great geniuses of animation who did Gertie the Dinosaur and Little Nemo and Slumberland. And so here's this master of animation who had this idea of using the magic of drawing to depict imaginary creatures. And you can watch that short, it's on YouTube. And I think it has a kind of adultness and a sexiness to it. So the fact that he had this germ that was unfinished was very inspiring. And then also, this was when I saw that, it was around the time that Jane had an all women's Dungeons and Dragons group. And I wanted to write something that she would enjoy participating in because Jane painted most of the cryptids in the movie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think the visual style it's very Dash and I, and what happens when you put Dash and I together, and we're really like leaning into all of our great loves, which are drawing and painting, and Dash has a great love of limited animation, and I have a great love for like 2D puppetry. I'm very inspired by Lottie Broniger. We love Fantastic Planet. We have a lot of different visual things, and one of the great things that Dash does is that he casts visual artists the way that many directors cast voice talent, where you say, oh, this person does fabulous backgrounds, this person does amazing portraiture, and so a lot of the film was figuring out how do we incorporate all of these different voices and make them feel both cohesive, but also be honest to those initial idea sparks that are in each art piece.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And this is animation, but very much not for children in lots of aspects. Is there still kind of stuck in Western kind of culture that animation is for kids, and maybe we think of Disney or even Marvel, whereas like when you look to the Japanese, it's very much celebrated as an art form and as an adult form of film. So how do you feel about how we approach it, and do you think that's changing, and what do you think makes it so special as a kind of film?
Well, one thing that we're really grateful for is to be working with Magnolia, who is someone who's
That's the U.S. distributor.
Is the U.S. distributor, who's really, that is an independent film company, first and foremost, and that is who we want to be talking to. We want to be seen as a film before an animation.
Yeah, when we were working on this, it would be like, who's the audience for this movie? And I would say anyone who wants to see an awesome movie, that's beautiful and meaningful and exciting and unique. So I didn't think about trying to reach pre-existing.
Dash comes specific out of comics, and what was happening in the early aughts in comics that Dash was very much a part of was that comics, there was this big discussion happening about graphic novels, and comics are not for kids, and it got this much wider audience and started to be viewed as literature. And the fact that Dash went through that shift, I think kind of empowered him and I to view the animation as art, as it should be, rather than being terribly worried about the historical demographic.
And there's, in one sense, the film has this incredible freewheeling quality to it, like a psychedelic acid trip. Peter Stormare earlier was saying he think, maybe it's better if you smoke a joint and then watch it, kind of thing. But there's also a lot of messages in it, and you can kind of, depending on how you want to read it, see issues of kind of capitalism in there, xenophobia, how we treat people who we see as other or different to us. So how did you want to bring those two sort of aspects together, and what do you think some of the themes are in the film?
Yeah, for a while the script had a Picasso quote at the beginning that said, "Everything that you can imagine is real." And I feel like that became like the baseline of the movie, and that we were treating imagination with realism and respect, because obviously everything begins in imagination, from how a society would operate to this Zoom technology that we're using. So it shouldn't be dismissed. But I'm putting those imaginations in very obviously the real world, and in a specific time, the 1960s, in a specific place, San Francisco, and these are coming from specific cultures. So I think that the connections to the real world happen because I didn't make it in a goofy fantasy world that we're kind of standing back and looking at. That the film is constantly kind of reminding you that this is taking place where it takes place. So I think that those kind of connections are part of the tapestry of the movie.
Yeah, and I mean, visually, I think we are both very visual people, and we just wanted to be excited and to have every frame of the film feel rich and full of ideas, and still obviously to serve the story first, but to have this wonderful space. We had wonderful space to play visually.
Saying psychedelic, I like the word psychedelic because it means mind manifesting, and I think that is a perfect kind of way to describe imagination and drawing, and also, of course, a lot of that art in the 60s was connected to very real countercultural movements, and that there was an aesthetic tied to an ideology that we're seeing kind of play out in the movie, and the results of that. So the yeah, I mean, the form and content of the movie have to connect. Do this.
And just finally, what does it mean to you to have this film playing as part of a Berlin Film Festival? Obviously can't be there in person, but being able to be part of it as the film festival.
This film, more than anything that I've ever worked on, really felt like something larger than my contribution to it. Every Dash talks about, the reality. You have this vision of a project, and then reality beats you down and you have to compromise. And that was never the case with this movie. And I'm just really honored to have worked on it, and to have it going into the universe and into the world, and to have eyes on it. And it's been incredible.
Mm-hmm. All right, fantastic. Well, thank you so much for your time and for creating this, absolutely fantastic and brilliant film.
Thank you for watching it.
Thank you so much. Cheers, lovely to speak to you.